As a child, didn't the world used to feel like so much of a bigger place? I still remember the little things like when Obama got inaugurated or when Pluto was a planet. And then when NASA decided it was too small to be one. But that didn't matter to us. We had the whole world ahead of us. We had everything. I don't really remember a lot about my childhood, but there's one thing I certainly remember not seeing a whole lot of. And that thing was addiction, mainly because I didn't know what it was, because we were too young to just really get it, you know what I mean? And people have always been getting themselves hooked on stuff, ever since they figured out something that would get them high. However, as a child, I was never high on anything but life. But now I take a look around me, all the students I go to school with, and it seems like everyone has their own little addiction niche. Some choose to drink, others choose to vape or smoke, some take Adderall, and some of us even smoke weed up here.
When I say we, I don't necessarily mean I. I'm here to educate, not incriminate.
It's crazy how some things change, but what's even more crazy is how much addiction can change a person. So the first substance I'm going to talk about being abused today is alcohol. And one of the more common types of alcohol, beer. So beer's almost come synonymous with watching football games, going to a tailgate, or going to a party. Just consider this. A party never lasts too long once the host runs out of booze. If you don't know that firsthand, just go to one party up here and believe me, you'll find out. Not everyone who drinks is an alcoholic, but when a person's life is negatively affected by it, time and time again, they have a drinking problem. Now, alcohol can make you feel like you're more confident, feel like you're having more fun, or just making something boring feel interesting. In today's culture, alcohol is often mixed with other drugs, which is called drug symbiosis, which makes both of them more potent. And the most common drugs that it's mixed with are other depressants, such as painkillers or benzodiazepines, such as Xanax or cannabis. And for this next little part, I'm going to show you guys what it may look like if someone is kind of crossfaded, using my faithful friend Christopher the chimpanzee.
Dude, are you drunk again?
Nah, bro, I'm Gucci.
And the places where you can see the highest rates of alcohol abuse are the District of Columbia, which is at 12.36% of inhabitants abuse it, Rhode Island 9.28, Nevada 9.21, and both North and South Dakota at about 9.13%. Here in Iowa, we don't have too big of a problem. It's only about 6.23% of people. Now, the most common by far substance that is used in the United States would be tobacco and products made with its key ingredient, nicotine. And what nicotine is, it's a highly addictive chemical compound found in tobacco that when ingested can provide a soothing buzz for the user. A lot of people decide to cope with stress, do it because it's cool, others get peer pressured into it, and some of us are unfortunate enough to be surrounded by big tobacco companies our entire lives.
If you're either poor or a minority, or God forbid both, they're coming for you.
And out of those 50 million people that are currently addicted to cigarettes, about 45 million began before or at the age of 18. And the problem with tobacco addiction is both in the cost of a single pack of cigarettes and the diseases smoking can cause when done repetitively. From the study I looked at, the national average of a pack of cigarettes is $6.28, with many users using a pack or a pack and a half a day. That usually sets you back about $188 a month or $2,292 a year. And if someone miraculously lived for 50 years while smoking, it's over $100,000 that they've spent on just cigarettes alone. And nearly 500,000 Americans die each year from tobacco-related disease. And smoking increases the risk of 23 times and 13 times to men and women respectively. The places where you can find smoking most common would be Kentucky, where about 40.23% of the residents smoke, and Mississippi and Oklahoma, where it's about 37%, and here in good old Iowa, it's about 28%. Alright, so this is just to keep you guys kind of interested. The next kind of drugs I'm going to be talking about are inhalants. And inhalants are a class of substances that are kind of abused in the United States, but it's only about 150,000 people, so it's not talked about very often. And what inhalants are often flammable substances that vaporize or evaporate at room temperature. And I'm going to give you guys a very short list of what these can include. It can include nitrous, which is found in laughing gas, or also in whipped cream containers, which is how a lot of younger people abuse it. Paint thinner, gasoline, felt tip marker fluid, glue, hairspray, deodorant, compressed air, propane, and leather cleaner, just to name a few. It's insane how long the list is. And when people inhale an inhalant, it usually doesn't last very long, but the thing is they exhibit the same characteristics as someone who's drunk, but then they can also start hallucinating too. And the thing that makes inhalants very dangerous are, since they're like, you're inhaling it, it goes directly into your bloodstream, and that can cause massive damage to your brain and also damage to your liver and kidneys in a very short matter of time. And since these inhalants are also very easy to obtain, teenagers are the largest group abusing these, followed by a lot of addicts that can no longer afford the more expensive drugs such as cocaine. And now to give you a little rundown on cocaine, I'm going to bring that dude Chris back in here. Yo, Chris, get over here. Tell him about cocaine real quick.
Guess what? I know a thing or two about crack cocaine. It comes from what's called coca plant. You can find a whole lot of those down in South America, especially in Colombia, Bolivia, or Peru. And did you know that you can overdose from trying crack using just one shot? When someone takes it, they transform into a whole different kind of person. They feel like $1,000,000. They bounce off the walls, they keep talking till their jaw falls off. Don't even get me started on how cocky they can get. The problem is, when you're all the way at the top of the world, you got so far away to fall down. Typically, that high doesn't last more than a couple minutes, so they just have to keep chasing it. Right? After a while, they have to chase it just to feel normal. When someone stops, an addict can turn depressed, become paranoid, be incredibly hostile, and have bad, and I do mean bad dreams. It takes anywhere from half an hour to 3 days for these effects to set in, and these symptoms can last for months on end. Typically, the way people do crack or crack cocaine, or cocaine or crack cocaine, is they either inhale it, inject it, smoke it. There's all kinds of ways to do it, but the effects are all the same.
So what I hope you guys got out of this today is that people everywhere can be addicted to anything. And I didn't even talk about the people addicted to benzodiazepines, heroin, or stimulants such as methamphetamines. Addiction is always easy to spot once it's already set in, but it's not so easy to discover. If someone around you is suddenly just becoming more and more withdrawn, or you notice negative physical changes, or you just notice them doing a drug, it's never a bad idea to have a chat with them. And now, I'm going to let this get closed out with the whole motto of this.
Now, as I was saying, drugs are bad. You shouldn't do drugs. If you do them, you're bad. Because drugs are bad, okay? It's a bad thing to do drugs, so don't be bad by doing drugs, okay? That'd be bad. Drugs are bad. Okay?
Alright, thanks for watching. Now there's only one thing left to do. Chris, you agree that if you do drugs, you're bad?